Y'all know me. I've always been vocal about everything, about literally everything. Nobody can shut me up. Nobody can silence me. Like, was you silenced or was you silenced? Okay, and nobody's gonna do that to me. Of course, this story is long as fuck because it was 30 days of hell.
Hold up, drama alert! Cleotrapa is coming for Ice Spice with some major tea. She's calling out the rapper for being evil and spilling the beans that Ice Spice might be using Ozempic for her slimmed-down look. You won't believe the receipts Cleotrapa's dropping and how Ice Spice is firing back. Buckle up, this is about to get wild. So Ice Spice's old buddy Cleotrapa threw some shade at the rapper online, claiming she's using Ozempic for weight loss. Ice Spice, whose real name is Isis Nija Gaston, has already denied these rumors, but Cleotrapa wasn't having it. She went off on Twitter after Ice Spice called her a vacuum for eating a lot. Cleotrapa tweeted, "Imagine being called big by someone who was just big. Ozempic got y'all gassed and fatphobic now? BET." This came after Cleotrapa, who was opening for Ice Spice on her Y2K tour, shared some complaints on TikTok. She said that despite being on the tour, production wouldn't cover a chicken salad she wanted. Cleotrapa was baffled, saying, "How am I not part of the budget but y'all invited me on tour?" She also aired other grievances in her videos. Ice Spice hit back on X-Space, saying it's sad how people crash out when they don't get what they want. She defended herself, saying she tried to help Cleotrapa by inviting her on tour and even added an extra bus for her. Ice Spice was frustrated, pointing out that Cleotrapa was acting entitled and not appreciating the opportunity. Ice Spice also threw some shade back, saying Cleotrapa ate so much at an Italian restaurant that even the server was surprised. Sure, here's a more casual version for a pop audience. Ice Spice recently shut down rumors about using Ozempic after fans noticed she'd slimmed down. She jumped on X Spaces to chat with her followers, who were complimenting her new look. Ice Spice couldn't help but vent, saying, "I wish y'all never learned about Ozempic. That's one thing I really wish." She admitted she doesn't even know what Ozempic is, saying, "Seriously, what is Ozempic? I don't even know what that is." Ice Spice made it clear that her weight loss is from hitting the gym and being on tour, not from any meds. She called out the speculation, saying, "Like, you guys never heard of the gym? It's called working out, eating right, and being on tour. Maybe if I was just sitting around all day, I'd stay bigger." She kept the fire going by sharing a gym video on Saturday with the caption, "We beatin' them allegations BAE," while her track BB Belt played in the background. Comments online mostly side with Cleotrapa. People think that Ice is the problem and that her true side is coming out after all this time. One person said, "So she beefing with all her friends? Seems like she's the problem." And another said, "Ice Spice honestly does not have the discography, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, or talent to be acting so horrible to Cleo. I honestly feel like we've all dealt with someone like Ice Spice before in our lives, you know. They won't openly say they hate you because people like that don't like confrontation. But they'll do everything in their power to demean, belittle, and treat you like nothing while gaslighting you at the same time, and it hurts badly." Ice Spice's manager, James Roseman Jr., jumped into the mix to set the record straight. He said Cleotrapa got an opportunity, but it's up to her team to handle the logistics and costs. Roseman added that openers don't get the same perks as headliners and criticized Cleotrapa for seeming entitled. He hinted that Cleotrapa might be stirring up drama for attention rather than handling things privately. In a TikTok series, Cleotrapa aired her frustrations, saying she had to change in bathrooms, pay for hotels herself, and didn't get paid. She accused Ice Spice of being fake and manipulative. Cleotrapa is opening up about her tough time on tour with Ice Spice, and it's a doozy. She's not trying to bash anyone, but wants to share her story and give fans something to learn from. Cleotrapa says she felt mistreated and undervalued, despite being invited on tour to help Ice Spice's image after some drama with leaked texts. Cleotrapa explains that Ice Spice invited her to tour with just a day's notice and promised everything would be taken care of. But Cleotrapa ended up paying for a lot of her own expenses and felt like she was only given crumbs instead of real support. She also felt Ice Spice's actions were calculated and aimed at boosting her own image while putting Cleotrapa in the background. Cleotrapa describes how the tour experience was rushed and poorly organized, with last-minute changes and no clear information about what she needed to cover. Despite these challenges, she tried to make the best of it, but ended up feeling sidelined and mistreated throughout the tour. Cleotrapa goes into more detail about her rough tour experience with Ice Spice. She explains that she was left feeling frustrated and mistreated during the tour. After a show, she found herself carrying her own bags while Ice Spice's were taken care of by security. Cleotrapa found this especially humiliating as she had to drag her bags through the rain while fans watched. She also felt that Ice Spice's lack of support extended to other aspects of the tour. For instance, Cleotrapa wasn't given proper accommodations or help and felt like Ice Spice was purposely making things difficult for her. Cleotrapa attempted to address these issues directly with Ice Spice, but felt her concerns were dismissed. This led to her realizing that Ice Spice wasn't truly a friend, but rather someone who was using her for her own gain. Despite the difficulties, Cleotrapa decided to continue with the tour, driven by a sense of resilience and a belief that she was meant to overcome these challenges. She concludes that while the experience was painful, it reinforced her determination to speak out and stand up for herself. Cleotrapa describes the continued mistreatment and awkwardness she faced during the tour with Ice Spice. She highlights several issues. First, accommodation issues. Cleotrapa was often given inadequate space, like a public bathroom, to change and get ready, unlike Ice Spice's guests who always had proper rooms. This lack of respect and consideration was demoralizing. Then, the bag incident. Her bag was unceremoniously removed from Ice Spice's dressing room and left outside, leading to a troubling incident where her credit card information was used without her consent. Although the bank reimbursed her, the violation added to her distress. She also had plenty of miscommunication and expenses that she wasn't informed of. Cleotrapa was surprised to learn that she would be responsible for her own hotel rooms, which she wasn't prepared for. This was a significant financial burden, especially since the tour was supposed to be covered by Ice Spice's label. Cleo also felt excluded from the tour experience, including being left out of meals and social activities. Her attempts to connect with others on the tour, like Ice Spice's hairstylist, were met with hostility from Ice Spice. She was also mistreated by the production team. They seemed to actively ignore Cleotrapa's needs, leaving her without proper accommodations and food. She was left with the impression that they wanted her to struggle and feel isolated. Despite the mistreatment, Cleotrapa chose to stay positive and resilient. She found support from the hairstylist, who helped make the tour more bearable. Cleotrapa concluded that the tour was a test of her strength and determination. Cleotrapa's experiences reflect a troubling dynamic, where her role on the tour was undermined by Ice Spice's apparent disdain and the overall lack of support from the production team. Despite these challenges, Cleotrapa's resolve to persevere and maintain her self-worth remained strong. Now, as you can imagine, Ice Spice had something to say about this drama herself. Every story has two sides, right?
Yeah, no, this is not funny. Crashing out is sad, you guys. Like, the scary part of fame, honestly, is the moment that somebody feels like they can no longer use your platform, or like they're not getting exactly what they want out of a situation the way that they want it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's when they decide to crash out every single time. Like, I'm noticing a pattern, bro. And the shit is sad because I genuinely was trying to help her. Like, I'm like, yo, do you want to just come on this tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just, like, join.
Y'all putting laughing faces? Ice Spice responded online, agreeing with her manager's take and saying it's sad when people lash out just because they didn't get exactly what they wanted. She's noticing a pattern of people crashing out when they can't leverage fame to their advantage. As for Ice's response to the allegations that came from Cleo's side, Ice Spice defended herself, focusing on several key points. Ice claims she genuinely tried to help Cleo by inviting her to join the tour, especially after adding an extra tour bus, which created more space. She expresses frustration that her efforts are being overshadowed by Cleo's complaints. Ice argued that Cleo did not communicate her issues directly during the tour. She says Cleo's complaints, such as about the chicken salad and the handling of her bags, were never brought to her attention until after the tour ended. Ice Spice is critical of the way Cleo chose to address these issues with a lengthy message post-tour. Then Ice Spice dismissed Cleo's portrayal of the tour, highlighting that they had fun and enjoyed experiences like theme park visits. She contrasts this with Cleo's negative depiction, accusing her of ignoring the positive aspects of the tour. Ice Spice took issue with Cleo's comments about her being soulless and dark, finding these accusations extreme and unfair. She suggests that Cleo's negative feelings were unfounded and that Cleo herself may need introspection. Despite the drama, Ice Spice insists that she will continue to move forward with her career and tour dates, showing resilience in the face of the controversy. So here we are with Ice Spice and Cleo in a full-on public spat. Cleo's been pretty open about her tour experience, calling out what she feels was bad treatment and lack of support. Ice Spice, on the other hand, says she was just trying to help and is baffled by the whole situation. The internet's buzzing, and it seems like a lot of people are siding with Cleo. Some folks think this drama might even be a sign that Ice Spice's career could be on shaky ground. As this story continues to unfold, it's a reminder of how quickly things can shift in the world of fame. Whether this will be a major setback for Ice Spice or just a rough patch remains to be seen. But for now, all eyes are definitely on her.